So to help my sales strategy, I want to know why beautiful books are important.
We live in a time where we don't return often, right? Like the endless scrolling, the like infinite scrolling, the endless feed, um, the desire to like travel always to new places and see new things. We don't often return to things. And so to have a beautiful book, especially for some of your favorite books or the books that have inspired you, like your book, The Pathless Path, is a perfect book to be sort of crafted into this beautiful object because it's going to be a thing that inspires, I think, I know you've sold tens of thousands of copies. I think over the next decade, you're going to see that book continue to resonate. There are going to be people who discover it for the first time, in 2026, right? Which we're at the end of 2025 now. And they're going
So
to hopefully
crazy.
read it more than just once. I think about the books that have, impacted me in my life. I have a very nice cloth bound 5 volume set of the Bible, right? I have that Steel Brothers Walden book because when I moved out here to the wilderness, Walden became such a important piece of not just inspiration, but like it gave me some language to talk about the thing that I was doing when I felt like I was at a loss for words, right? I'm trying to think the other few books that Craig Mod is a favorite. I've been following Craig Mod since first started at Apple, and he was, I think, writing for Wired or had done something for Wired. I just wanted to be the Mexican version of Craig Mod, and the books that he's created are so beautiful and breathtaking that in a way, like I've wanted to imitate them. And at the same time, like owning his books, his books are in that same category of like $100 book now. They remind me that like, that's who I want to be. I want to be a independent creator who's putting out things into the world that are not just valuable for people, but beautiful and inspiring people to do things. The book as an object, I think the backlash has started to come, especially since after COVID, where it's like people want to have a life outside of screens and the digital realm. And I think we still are hungry to have our minds fed. And the book, the codex, this dead tree that we bind is the perfect way to have that sort of nourishment of information and prose without a screen, right? Without this like almost digital gluttony that has come upon the world, right? So having beautiful books, I'm like looking on my desk right now. I wish I should have, if I planned better, I was like, I know my Walden, we just moved into the studio. So but I have some like beautiful pressed encyclicals over here from Pope Leo the 13th from about 150 years ago. And there's just something about having that object there to pick up, right? And having the icon, the avatar of that information, that idea in your space. For me, I could probably wax poetic about beautiful books for a whole podcast episode itself. I think the last thing I would say is like when you go over to someone's home and you see you see a bookshelf in their home and you see what books are on that shelf. That's a statement in a way. It's also sort of um a shrine, I think, right? Like getting back to the religion thing to tie this all together, right? Like there's something very religious about the information we carry with us. Alexander the Great was famed for having a copy of Homer, right, and making sure that he had that story close to him because he knew who he wanted to emulate and he knew what he wanted his life to look like, right? If you went into Alexander the Great's tent, you would find this box that he got from defeating Darius, and inside of that box would have been a copy of Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. And I think that's still true today. Like I think the books that we have, the stories we tell ourselves, how beautiful they are or how transient they are, how disposable they are, tells a story first and foremost to ourselves, but also to those around us about what are the most important things to us.